Once you cross into your 60s, certain vegetables that are perfectly fine for a 30-year-old are quietly working against you. Not because they're bad foods, but because your body at this stage of life responds to them in a completely different way. And the scary part? The people I see suffering the most are the ones trying the hardest. The green smoothies every morning, the big raw salads, broccoli with every meal, doing everything right and still getting worse. I'm Dr. Deborah, and today I'm going to show you exactly which 3 vegetables are working against your body after 60, and the 3 that work almost like medicine for it. Stay with me, because the 3rd vegetable on the caution list is one you eat multiple times a week and have never once suspected. Let's get into it. But before we dive in, drop a comment right now. Tell me your age and where in the world you're watching from. I read every single one, and I want to know exactly who I'm talking to today. What nobody tells you about your body after 60. Before I name a single vegetable, you need one concept, because it's the thread connecting everything we're about to cover. After 60, one process is happening inside your body right now that sits beneath almost every chronic health problem you're dealing with or will deal with in the next decade. It's called chronic inflammation, not the kind you can feel, not swelling, not pain you can point to. A low, slow burn inside your arteries, your joints, your gut lining, your brain, right now while you feel relatively fine. Researchers call it inflammaging, inflammation plus aging, and it is the hidden engine behind heart disease, cognitive decline, arthritis, and certain cancers in older adults. Here's why this matters. Every vegetable I name today, the ones to avoid and the ones to eat, affects this one thing. They are either feeding that fire or fighting it. Once you see that, every food choice you make looks different. 2 other things change after 60 that you need to know. Your kidneys are filtering your blood at a measurably lower rate than they were at 40. Compounds your body used to clear easily are now building up. Invisible, no pain, no warning, just slow accumulation until something crosses a threshold. And your thyroid, the master regulator of your metabolism, your energy, your mood, your weight, becomes significantly more vulnerable with age. Certain foods in large amounts work directly against it. We'll get to exactly which ones. The 3 vegetables to approach with caution. The first vegetable is one the entire health world treats like royalty, and for most people under 50, that reputation is deserved. But over 60, in large raw quantities, it causes 3 specific kinds of damage, and almost nobody connects them back to it. Raw spinach. Quick question before I explain. Do you make a green smoothie most mornings with 2 or 3 large handfuls of raw spinach? Do you eat big spinach salads regularly? If yes, this is specifically for you. Raw spinach is one of the highest sources of oxalates in the plant world. Oxalates are naturally occurring compounds, and here is the critical part. Your ability to process and eliminate them declines with age. As kidney function slows after 60, oxalate clearance becomes less efficient. When oxalates aren't cleared properly, they bind to calcium in your kidneys. They form crystals. Those crystals are the primary component of kidney stones, and older adults are far more vulnerable than younger people. But most patients I see who are consuming too much raw spinach aren't coming in with kidney stones. They're coming in with 2 other problems, and they never connect them to their healthy diet. First, worsening joint pain. Oxalates accumulate in joint tissue. If you're managing arthritis and your symptoms aren't improving despite everything you're trying, this is worth examining. Second, declining bone density despite eating plenty of calcium. This one is particularly frustrating. They're doing everything right, but oxalates bind to calcium in your digestive tract before it can be absorbed. You are eating calcium and losing it before your bones ever see it. The fix is simple. Cook it. Steaming or sautéing spinach for even 3 minutes drives off a significant portion of those oxalates. A quick sauté in olive oil and garlic takes 5 minutes, tastes incredible, and transforms this vegetable from a quiet problem into a genuine asset. If you have a history of kidney stones or persistent joint issues, talk to your doctor specifically about oxalate intake. 5-minute conversation could matter more than you expect. Now, the next vegetable is going to surprise you more than that one did. This one is considered among the most cancer-protective foods on Earth. The research on it is extraordinary. I eat it myself. And there is a specific way of eating it that is quietly working against your thyroid right now if you're over 60. The symptoms it causes are ones millions of older adults are living with and blaming on age. Danger number 2. Before I name it, think about something. When did you last feel that deep, foggy, unmotivated fatigue? Not sleepy tired, the kind where even things you enjoy feel like effort, or your weight crept up despite not changing what you eat, or your mood just went flat for no clear reason. Those 3 things together have a common culprit most people never identify, and it's sitting in your refrigerator right now being called a health food. Raw cruciferous vegetables. Raw kale, raw broccoli, raw Brussels sprouts, raw cauliflower, in large amounts contain compounds called goitrogens. Goitrogens interfere with your thyroid gland's ability to absorb iodine. Without adequate iodine uptake, your thyroid cannot produce sufficient hormones. And those hormones regulate everything: your metabolism, your energy, your body temperature, your mood. Here is what concerns me most in practice. Hypothyroidism, an underactive thyroid, becomes increasingly common after 60. It is one of the most underdiagnosed conditions in older adults. Symptoms develop slowly. Weight gain, fatigue, brain fog, feeling cold, low mood. They creep up so gradually that most people assume it's simply aging. Some of my patients have been on thyroid medication for years and simultaneously drinking large raw kale smoothies every morning. Those raw vegetables can reduce the effectiveness of thyroid medication. They wonder why their levels won't stabilize. This is sometimes exactly why. Second issue. The fiber in raw cruciferous vegetables is extremely dense. An aging digestive system struggles to process it efficiently. The bloating and discomfort many older adults feel after eating raw broccoli or kale isn't a minor inconvenience. It is your gut telling you it is overwhelmed. And chronic digestive stress has downstream effects on nutrient absorption throughout your whole body. The solution is not to stop eating these vegetables. Never. The cancer-fighting research alone makes them non-negotiable. The solution is heat. Roasting, steaming, stir-frying all deactivate a significant portion of the goitrogenic compounds. The fiber becomes dramatically easier to digest, and roasted broccoli and Brussels sprouts are honestly among the most delicious things you can put on a plate. If you're on thyroid medication and eating large quantities of these raw, bring it up at your next appointment. Brief conversation could change how well your medication is actually working. Hey, if this is making sense so far, tap the like button right now. It tells me this kind of content is helping you, and it helps Dr. Deborah reach people who need to hear this. Also, drop a comment. Which of these 2 vegetables surprised you most, spinach or the cruciferous ones? Tell me below. Vegetable number 3 is different from the first 2. This one isn't about oxalates or thyroid function. This one is about your joints, your gut lining, and a process that a growing body of research links directly to arthritis pain in older adults. And I promise you, you are not suspecting this one. Danger number 3, nightshades. I need to be precise here. The evidence is more individualized than the first two. Not everyone is affected. But the percentage of people over 60 who are affected is high enough that I feel an obligation to put it on your radar, especially if you are managing any joint condition. The category is nightshades: tomatoes, bell peppers, eggplant, white potatoes. Nightshades contain compounds called alkaloids, solanine being the most significant. In most healthy people, they cause no issues, but in people dealing with inflammatory joint conditions, arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, bursitis, nightshade alkaloids can irritate the gut lining, increase intestinal permeability, and trigger an immune response that shows up as increased joint pain and stiffness. Here is the self-test I give my patients. Remove all nightshades completely for 4 to 6 weeks. No tomatoes, no peppers, no eggplant, no white potatoes. Then reintroduce them one at a time. Pay close attention to how your joints feel in the days following. If your pain improved during elimination, you have your answer. 2 more issues with raw tomatoes specifically. First, histamine sensitivity. As we age, our ability to break down histamine in food declines. Raw tomatoes are high in histamine. Unexplained headaches, skin flushing, nasal congestion, fatigue, symptoms you've been blaming on age, could be the tomatoes on your salad plate. Second, acid reflux. The lower esophageal sphincter weakens with age. Raw tomatoes are highly acidic. If you're dealing with chronic heartburn or GERD, raw tomatoes are very likely making it significantly worse. The good news? Cooking tomatoes actually increases lycopene bioavailability. You get more of the benefit, not less. A slow-cooked tomato sauce gives you everything good about tomatoes while eliminating almost everything problematic. The 3 vegetables you must eat after 60. I want to open with one number because this number is the entire reason garlic leads this list. Multiple large-scale clinical studies have shown that regular garlic consumption can reduce systolic blood pressure by 8 to 10 millimeters of mercury in people with hypertension. That reduction is comparable to some first-line blood pressure medications. No prescription, no side effects, no copay. A clove of garlic. When you crush or chop garlic, an enzyme activates and produces a compound called allicin. Allicin is one of the most powerful, naturally occurring cardiovascular protective compounds we know of. It reduces LDL cholesterol while preserving HDL. It reduces blood platelet clumping, lowering the risk of the clots that cause heart attacks and strokes, and it directly fights the chronic inflammation driving almost every condition we've discussed today. But here is the part most people never hear. Garlic is a powerful prebiotic. It feeds and nurtures the beneficial bacteria in your gut microbiome. After 60, your microbiome has typically lost significant diversity. Beneficial strains are declining, and your microbiome now regulates not just digestion, but your immune response, your mental health, your weight, your inflammation levels, and your protection against chronic disease. When you eat garlic regularly, you are rebuilding the internal ecosystem that keeps your entire body running. That is not a small thing. How to get the most from it? Crush or chop and let it sit for 10 full minutes before cooking. This allows the enzymatic reaction to complete. Add it toward the end of cooking. Aim for 2 to 3 cloves daily. It goes in almost everything. Quick pause. If you're still here, you're exactly the kind of person this channel is built for. Hit subscribe so you never miss what's coming next. And tell me in the comments, are you already eating garlic regularly? Yes or no? I want to know. Number 2, bok choy and cooked dark leafy greens. One statistic. I think about this every time I review a bone density scan. 1 in 2 women over 50 will break a bone due to osteoporosis in their remaining lifetime. 1 in 4 men. Hip fractures, specifically, a large percentage lead to permanent loss of independence, and a frightening percentage are associated with death within the following year. This is not a quality of life issue. This is a survival issue. The most underrated tool for bone protection in older adults is bok choy and the family of cooked dark leafy greens it belongs to. Collard greens, mustard greens, turnip greens. Here is why it outperforms dairy. It is not just calcium content. It is bioavailability, how much your body actually absorbs and uses. Bok choy delivers calcium your body absorbs extremely efficiently, comparable to or better than in many cases. But what truly sets these greens apart is vitamin K. Vitamin K directs calcium to where it belongs, your bones and teeth, rather than allowing it to deposit in your arteries. Arterial calcification is a major driver of cardiovascular disease. These greens are simultaneously protecting your bones and protecting your arteries. One food, two jobs, both critical. Rich in folate, vitamin C, potassium, and antioxidant compounds fighting chronic inflammation, and because we're eating them cooked, every digestive issue I warned about with raw cruciferous vegetables is completely eliminated. Bok choy stir-fried in sesame oil and garlic, 5 minutes. Collard greens slow-cooked with olive oil and onion, deeply satisfying. Make cooked dark leafy greens appear on your plate at least 4 times per week. Non-negotiable. Number 3, beets. Researchers at Wake Forest University gave older adults beet juice before moderate exercise. Then they scanned their brains. Using imaging technology, they could literally see on a scan, dramatically increased blood flow to the white matter of the frontal lobes, the region responsible for memory, decision-making, and higher-order thinking. The improvements were significant, visible, after a single dose. This is not a supplement company study. This is a university research team using brain imaging to show that a vegetable can feed your brain more oxygen, starting with the very next time you eat it. Here is the mechanism. Beets are one of the richest dietary sources of natural nitrates. Your body converts those nitrates into nitric oxide. Nitric oxide causes blood vessels to relax and dilate. More blood flows through with less resistance. After 60, the small blood vessels feeding your brain become progressively stiffer. The regions responsible for memory and processing speed begin receiving less oxygen, less nutrients. This is the slow, quiet starvation of your brain cells, happening right now in millions of older adults with no pain and no warning. Beets directly and measurably counteract this process. The same nitric oxide mechanism reduces blood pressure and improves cardiovascular efficiency throughout your entire body. Beets also contain betalains, the pigments giving them their deep red color. Potent anti-inflammatory compounds fighting the inflammaging at the root of everything we've discussed today. And beets contain betaine, which reduces homocysteine in the blood. Elevated homocysteine is an independent risk factor for heart disease, stroke, and cognitive decline. It becomes increasingly common after 60. Beets keep it in check. Don't throw away the beet greens. The leafy tops contain iron, calcium, vitamin K, and powerful antioxidants. Sauté them exactly like any dark leafy green. Most people discard them. That is a significant mistake. Roast the beets. Slice, olive oil, salt, 400 degrees until tender. Add to grain bowls or salads. Blend into soups. Juice them before exercise for maximum brain blood flow benefit. Look at what connects everything we covered today. Oxalates in raw spinach, goitrogens in craw crucifers, alkaloids in nightshades. What are all of these? compounds that burden already struggling systems. They tax kidneys operating at reduced capacity. They work against a thyroid that is already vulnerable. They irritate a gut lining that is already thinning. They feed inflammation in a body that is already inflamed. Now, the other side. Allicin in garlic, vitamin K in bok choy, nitrates and betalains in beets. What do these do? They fight inflammation. They protect your arteries. They feed your brain. They direct calcium where it belongs. They rebuild your gut microbiome. The vegetables to be cautious about burdening aging systems. The vegetables to embrace target aging's specific vulnerabilities. That is the framework. Once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Start with one change this week. Just one. Cook your spinach instead of eating it raw. That is it. Next week, add garlic to dinner 3 or 4 nights. The week after, pick up beets and roast them. Small, consistent changes compound into significant biological shifts. Your gut microbiome begins changing within weeks. Your blood pressure can respond within days. Your brain's blood flow can improve beginning with your very next meal. You are never too old for the right food to make a real difference. Your body is still listening, still responding, still capable of healing. Give it the right signals. And if this reached you, help Dr. Deborah reach 1,000 subscribers, because this is exactly what 1,000 people need to hear.